Hi there, and welcome back to Top Floor Studios with me, Jakob Herrmann, which is kind of a German name, so Jakob Herrmann, I guess, for all you Germans. With me I also have my dog, Zappa, who wants to sit in my lap and not his bed like he should. So I guess I'll do this mixing with my dog in my lap. If you have a problem hearing me or whatever, let me know and I'll try to adjust it. Where did we leave off? We were doing this 2 weeks ago, I think. And that time it was me and Jonas Ekdahl from the band Evergrey, who I've recorded with a lot. And he was kind enough to help me as the drummer for the drum recording workshop we did. He also wrote this song that that we recorded the drums to, and that we're using as background for mixing these drums. At the end of the workshop, I am going to export all the tracks, drums and music, and make a Dropbox link and send to you in the chat so you can download it and mess around with the tracks yourself. Before I start, I would like to say that if you have any questions, as always, or as last time, fire at will. I have my iPad right here, so I can see all your questions. We're going to do this first segment on YouTube, and in a little less than an hour, we will move over to Vimeo. So I guess let's get started. Here you have the Logic session from last time. I haven't touched it at all. Maybe I can do it like that so you see it better. So up here you have the click and the mics that I'm talking through, but we don't have to worry about that right now. We can just hide those for now. In here, BTR, that's the folder for all the backing tracks that Jonas made. And up here we have the important stuff, the drums. As you may remember, at first it looked like this when we did the tracking. So here we have all the takes, and then we did some swipe comping to combine the different takes to one master take, which we then consolidated and edited like this. And as you can see, there's not much editing going on. There's one thing here, one thing here, one thing here, and a couple of things in the middle. And apart from that, it's all what I would guess is like a tidying up. Let's see if we can find how much. Yeah, we tidied it up. We made it tighter by 70%, which is not super much. Maybe I can move this over here. Well, you can see what I'm doing, so it doesn't matter. Well, for now, so I can see your questions better. That's better. Someone's asking, Dusan Orovec, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, is it possible to get the whole Logic session with your settings, etc.? No, I'm not going to give you my Logic session. But you can watch me do my thing and then you can do your thing. Anywho, moving on to the mix view, which is the same as the edited drums. It's only consolidated again, so there's no flex time or any editing going on. Let's see here. I also have different outputs here. Actually, this should be named HOFA mix. This is the mix I'm sending to you. I'm just going to make sure that it's not going totally overboard here. Let's see what happens. Right, so there we go. Okay, that is better. Why is that? Oh yeah. There we go. Blacktail 99, you're saying, would it be possible to get the files? Yeah, you will get the files. That's what I was saying. I will send you all the files, basically. Anywho, when doing a drum mix, my chair is squeaky. I'm sorry about that. I thought I got the non-squeaky one, but I think they're all a bit squeaky. Actually, the other one is better. I hope. Yeah, it's better. So now you don't have to sit and listen to me squeak my chair the whole time. Anyway, when mixing drums like this is, I guess, kind of a hard rock / metal performance, but not really. Like it's nothing crazy. It's nothing like super fast blast beat or some super genty stuff. This is more like the band Jonas plays in, Evergrey, which is like melodic metal, I would say, but this song is kind of slowish, more like groove based metal in a way. It's hard to, I'm not very good with genres, as you can hear. I think it's really important to not go for the super triggered sound or super massive sound. I want to go for a more like natural sound based on the actual tracks. So there's not going to be a lot of like blending with samples and stuff like that. This will focus very much on the real thing. Vibke, hey, I remember you. You're the one with all the good questions, or one of the people with all the good questions. What are you using SonarWorks for here? Well, let's take a look. So, in order to do this, I'm sending, if I'm doing this right, which I hope, yeah, I'm sending both the drums and the music to this bus here, mix, and then I'm sending that to my stereo out, which is my mix, and we don't need that, and then I'm sending a copy of that to your mix, which is, I'm using SonarWorks here in my mix that I hear, so that I can listen through my speakers with my SonarWorks profile, which looks like this. It doesn't do a lot, but it does a little, which I really like for my monitoring. Anywho, let's get on with it, I guess. Let's just check your settings here. Yeah, it looks fine. Tell me if, well, I will say this. So, some of you were saying last time that, oh, the volume is so low, or, well, the thing is that the volume can't be at max level the whole time, because in mixing and recording, but especially mixing, you can't have the levels that high at all times, because it wouldn't make sense. That, there's no sense in mixing like that. Just like I do here, which is you know, when I solo listen to a kick, for example, I will raise the volume here, but I don't want to do that for your monitoring, because that will affect the sound in different ways. So it's better if, I don't know how you guys are listening to this. I would recommend to use you know, decent headphones or good monitors. But do the same as I do, you know. If it's too low, then raise the volume, because that's the way I do it here. That way you will get a more accurate sound than if I would compress it and limit it to you, so that you would always get the sound up here in volume. You wouldn't get the real sound that I'm hearing. Okay, now I'm gonna get to it. This is what it sounded like last time, with nothing on, with just the drums going into a compressor. And as you can see here, oh, let me check if I did this right with my lav mic. Mute-o-matic, yes, okay, good. I have a plugin on, so every time I hit play, my talk mic is muting. So what I've done here with the backtracks is just a tiny bit EQ, and I haven't even done anything to it. As you can see, I did that thing that I talked about last time, which is just you know, cutting off the very, very low end and very, very high end, and then it goes into a multiband compressor, which behaves like. Are you saying no audio? Oh, I see. I see. Hold on. Well, how about now? Yeah, now it works. Sorry, I forgot to put my talk microphone in solo safe. I apologize for that. Cool, thanks for letting me know. Vibke, can you say again why you put the L2 on the mix track? Well, yeah, sorry, I'll rewind a little here. My point is that if the drums sound good, you should be able to put the drums with just a compressor on the drum bus, just a simple, like, doesn't really matter how you put it really, and then the backtrack, the music, and put it all through a limiter at the mix bus, just to smooth that last thing out, just to see where the song wants to go and how the drums want to be mixed. And to me, it's, if the drums are well recorded, it's always obvious to me how the drums prefer to be mixed. So that's why I put, just for now, just to put this limiter on the mix bus to make it sound like this. And that's just to give me like a sense of how the song sounds and where I want to take things. Anywho, let's take that off again, shall we? Well, we can leave it, but we'll bypass it. And we'll bypass the compressor, and we will start looking at the kick drum. And some of these things, or a lot of these things that I'm going to do now, like I said last time, I do them when I record. Usually I use a lot of the SSL console that I have here. I don't know if you can see it. Well, you can see part of it. But I usually use a lot of the EQ and dynamics on the console. But this time I recorded everything just preamp straight into Logic, so you can see what I'm doing from the get-go. So some of this will be things that I would do already when recording, but it doesn't really matter that I do it now. Anywho, what I do is, like last time, I prefer to shape the sounds with this Pro Q3 EQ that I use all the time. And just to, I know I talked about it last time, like I get rid of the stuff that I don't like. It's not so much about bringing out the things I like, but more like taking away the things that are in the way of the sound that I want. And I already have like kind of a sense for how I want the close mics to sound. And that's why I'm going through the close mics right now. I'm also gonna check the phase here between the mics, because I know the cool thing about phase is that for an instrument like kick drum, out of phase doesn't always have to mean that it sounds bad. Sometimes that out of phase mic can cancel out bad frequencies in other mics, and which can give a kind of cool sound. So I'm gonna mess around a bit with the phase between the three mics. And like I said last time, I have three mics on the kick drum: kick in, kick out, and kick sub. And they have different responsibilities for the sound, I guess. So kick in will be more of that slappy, attacky thing. Kick out is more like that punchy, thumpy bass drum, and kick sub is what it sounds like. It's, you know, the sub frequencies. So let's do the same thing with the kick out. Vibke, would it be okay if you think aloud while choosing the frequencies? Where you cut and why? Well, you can't hear me when I have it in play mode. And I don't really think much. Because it's more like I don't know, intuition thing. But also experience. Like I know what a kick out mic sounds like, and I know what kind of frequencies I don't like. But it's more like if you, I don't know, let's bypass this and do a new one. Like some of them you can really hear. First of all, I'm taking away all this information, like under 50 or so. And then right above that, there's usually a honky kind of thing. Let's see if we can find that again. Like that one is always super obvious to me. And then there's usually some here, around 200 to 500. And that really cleans up the whole thing. Peppermind. Do you use any gate to keep down the bleeding on the kick? No, there's nothing. I haven't done anything yet. There's no gates or expanders or compressors or anything on these drums. This is all about mic placement. Like I said last time, mic placement is very, very important, along with tuning, to get the sound you want. People often ask me, like they listen to a drum that I've recorded, and ask me what gate I'm using, and I say there's no gate, it's just mic placement. Let's take a look at the sub kick. Blacktail, can someone adjust the levels between the Logic session and Jakob? Yeah, that would be me. If I'm too loud, like my voice or Logic is, let me know. Vibke, what would you say makes a good sub sound? Well, it's just there to make the other mics sound good. It's not supposed to sound good in itself. So what I'm doing is basically getting rid of all of the crap up here. If I solo those frequencies that I took away, it sounds like this. Like there's nothing there I want to use. And then I get rid of some of that honkiness that I told you about earlier. And then this one, you can do really cool stuff with... oh, your microphone is so much louder. Let me sort that. Let me sort that real quick. Well, I can do it like this, I think. Hold on. We'll see if this is better. But like I said, the music will be a bit louder later. Maybe I should... You know what? I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna take up the music instead. I'm gonna make that decision right now. Since you didn't listen to what I said earlier. All right. So yeah, like I said, there's the sub is supposed to just help out the other mics, but you can do a cool thing here, which is this guy right down here, the very sub. You can make this Q range super narrow and then raise it up so you can get some length in that drum. So if I have it like this, there's not going to be that much length. But if I do it like this, I'm exaggerating here a bit, but you see my point. You can really get the drum to sing a bit. And now it's time to look at some extra things. Wow, you're asking a lot of things now. Peppermind, I'm not talking about samples this time. Vibke, does that mean that if you only use the kick-in mic and the sub mic wouldn't really change in its setting, but the kick-in would? I would still shape it with an EQ, but when I do metal, I usually use 3 mics just to have that control. If you're wondering what that sound is, it's my dog who's annoyed that I'm working and not just petting him all the time. I'm gonna explain soon what I'm doing here. No. So, this trick here, this multi-band trick, it's been around for years. Nothing really weird about it. It's an expander down to a certain frequency, and then by threshold it listens to what it's going to let through, and then it lets through the attack of that high-end frequencies, but then it goes down again so you don't get all the bleed. So if you listen without it and with it, you hear that annoying bleed goes away a bit. And I don't want to like overdo things. I don't like to like slap on a gate. Like if I would, for instance, do this. Let's just take some super random gate here. Like that doesn't sound good to me. It's just, that just sounds like, you know, there's no control over it. I prefer to do small movements and shape the sound with a lot of different things instead of thinking that one plugin will save me. Let's see how this sounds with a bleed. Kind of the same, honestly. I think we can do this. No? Yes. Maybe that's a good idea, maybe it's not a good idea. Well. No. Because that would mess other things up. Oops. Well, the sub doesn't need help. I should, yeah, maybe. Well, I'm gonna send all these to a bus. Let's do from 11 up. It's always hard to choose bus, isn't it? Kick. And we're gonna put that in the drum group, and we're gonna send it to the drum bus. There we go. So now I have all the three drum mics, or sorry, bass drum mics into the kick bus, which means that I can now treat them like one mic. I can pretend that they're one mic. Blacktail, so every time the kick is working, the multiband expands these frequencies up to normal level. Yeah, exactly. Every time it hits, the treble goes up for just a short while. And if you want it to stay a little longer, you just expand the release time to get all of the attack, basically. There's a super cool plugin here called Drum Leveler that I really like. We're gonna take a look at that. Oh, I think I need to do a thing. I think my computer is about to get very tired. So this plugin is called no, it's not Mute-O-Matic, that's the other one. This is Drum Leveler, and it says compression here, but it's not a compressor. It evens out all the hits based on how much you want it to even out. Now I want it evened out 70%, and then I choose down here what frequencies that will trigger this plugin. So it just evens it out a bit, and they also have a kind of a nice gate that I use a little. So without it, the whole plugin, it sounds like this. Like the sound is nice, but it's a bit uneven. And with it, it sounds like this. Pretty nice. Then from here, I can EQ the bass drum bus. Filippo Sismix, or however you say it. How much bleeding do you allow? Depends on the bleed. It actually depends on the drummer as well. Jonas plays really well and he plays really even, but it's also the mic placement makes so the bleed is not so harsh. The bleed isn't super nasty. And it's also the mic choice that makes the bleed kind of nice. It's because of that I can allow some bleed. Because I don't like, I think this is already a bit much. If I would like super gate this now, it would sound weird. that's not a sound I like. I prefer for it to sound big and impactful, but still, you know, like a drum. Blacktail, this much EQing doesn't make trouble with phases. Well, here's the thing. In order to make this stream, since I'm running my talk mic through the same project, I'm trying to keep my buffer size is pretty low. Let's see where we're at now. Oh, you know what? We're totally fine. Then I can go in and choose linear phase on all these EQs. And maybe that will make my computer totally die. Nope, sounds fine. So that's what I usually do, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to do it now, and if my computer says no, well, then it says no. Not sure about that last. We'll see. Let's move on. We have things to do. Here it comes. That fantastic snare. So with snare, there's different approaches, and I do different approaches depending on the music style. For this one, I'm gonna like really tailor the snare sound quite much. And the first thing I'm gonna do is high pass it up to where the fundamental note of the snare is. And you can hear it, but you can also see it. It's right here, 200. as you can see, that did quite the difference. There's a cool thing that you can do with snares, because you cut out all the low frequencies, but there are some really cool ways to get it back, and that is, there's many plugins that do this. One that I like is Waves R-Bass, and that is this one that adds low end frequencies to something that doesn't have low end frequencies. And the reason to do this is that I get so much control over the drum sound, or the low end in that drum sound, because now that will follow. Like, I can even do this after I've evened out that snare drum. Let's do that first. Let's use drum leveler. And I don't want to gate this in that same way this time. And before that, let's also do that multiband thing. Because I really like that ring in the snare. And the cool thing is you can do it with several of these. So let's do one up here. Really high, all these annoying frequencies. And then let's do one here for the ring. With, let's see, that should be like that. So as you can see, this one in the middle reacts slower in the when it goes back again. And that way I get that nice ring still. And now. Yeah, kind of nice. So, I'm gonna continue this in Vimeo, on that Vimeo link that you hopefully have. If you don't have it, then you can get it from HOFA. And I'm gonna take Zappa for a quick walk, and I will see you at Vimeo in about 25 minutes. So see you then. Then we're gonna continue with this drum mixing thingy. Thanks for now, and see you soon.